If you want to better understand yourself and how to better interact with others, you need to understand your values. That's why the Minimalists created a free, downloadable, and printable values worksheet that will help you identify all of your different values and the obstacles that are in your way. Head on over to theminimalists.com/V to download your free values worksheet today. Enjoy. JC says, what do at JFM and at Ryan Nicodemus fear?
Nothing.
We will
add fearless.
At Lita Wise in there as well. So I had a very irrational fear for a long time, and I think it actually maybe helped me start writing in a weird way. So there's like a perverse benefit from this. But I had a fear of being forgotten. And now when you pan out long enough, I'm guaranteed to be forgotten. And so even if our books do incredibly well and they affect multiple generations to come, even after my death, on a long enough timeline, I'm going to be forgotten. Maybe it's 100 years from now. I was talking to Podcast Sean about this the other day. Yeah, I'll be lucky to be a footnote in the history books 1,000 years from now, right? That's, such a long time. But you pan out 10,000 years? 100,000 years, which is still just a blip in Earth time and the universe for sure. 100,000 years is nothing. No one will remember who we were. And I can either continue to fear that irrationally, or I can accept it and say, wow, no one's going to remember who I am, but that means I should at least make this moment count, because those moments 100,000 years from now aren't going to matter to me at all.
Yeah. What are you scared of, man?
Now? No.
Giraffes.
That's a rational fear.
Clowns. I think for me, it's such a, something I fear the most is I fear making the wrong decision.
Yeah.
I think that's probably like my biggest fear on a daily basis. Look, like I said, though, I think I have a great support team from, my wife, John, who I love, my dog. I mean, honestly, down to like my friends, my manager, my family. Like there are people that I have as a support system, but for me, I tend to kind of have this, my successes are my own and my failures are my own. And I think making the wrong decision is probably on a day-to-day basis would be the thing that I probably am fearing the most.
I have sort of an opposite fear of that. I have a fear of not making a decision. I'm a very, in fact, it's almost to my detriment. I'm a very decisive person. Like, I would just make the decision, get it out of the way, sort of thing, rip the Band-Aid off, so to speak. And sometimes that's really helpful, because it's like, all right, that's done. At least make a decision. You end up making the wrong decision. At least you made a decision. You can correct that later. But I have a fear of not making a decision, where if and it helps me not procrastinate in a way, but it also means I don't always sit and make necessarily the best decision.
Right. I would say that the outcome is the same. Worrying about not wanting to make a decision, and I think the reason it's not so much a fear. It's so much of with what I do, and I mean, I think most people day to day, it's just going through those motions of, I think just for me, I guess it's like overthinking things sometimes, to a degree where it's like not unhealthy, but you're, sometimes I think that to me is what gets me the most anxious. And I think maybe I'm using the word fear where I should be using the word anxious. I think I get the most anxious when, I don't know exactly, like worrying about making the right or wrong decision versus just making the decision. And I think I tend to overthink that sometimes.
Ryan, what about you?
Oh, it's funny. I was talking earlier about you shouldn't care what people think about you, but I do care what people think. Yeah. It's about how I manage that fear, though. But I'll tell you the one thing that there's two of the biggest fears about what people think about me. One, if people think I've disrespected them, like I don't know why, but like I will think to myself sometimes like, oh, that person took me the wrong way. thought I disrespected them, and that'll like eat me up, and I have to go.
Fear of being misunderstood.
Yeah, fear of being misunderstood. Or fear of like someone looking at me like I'm an idiot. And that's mainly because I feel like an idiot a lot of the times, but I don't want people to know that.